Hey there, my name is Dinosaurs, and welcome to Kingdom Hearts. So recently I decided to spin up a new hobby in video creation. I'm specifically trying to learn DaVinci Resolve and just figure out how to make changes to videos, play around with audio editing, and just pick up a new skill set and toolkit. Conveniently, Kingdom Hearts just released their entire anthology up to this point on Steam. So I'm going to go on a bit of a personal quest to earn every single achievement in each game. In some cases, I might even go a bit further than what's being asked for just to show ways to do things. And I'm going to record it, and I'm going to put it on YouTube, I'm going to have a good time with it. I'm going to maybe put some post-production stuff in, maybe do some edits and transitions, figure out some audio things, and as I go through this series and make more episodes, maybe I'll get better, and maybe these videos will get better. Mostly this is just to try something different and try something new. And, it's also an excuse just to get into Kingdom Hearts. This is my favorite series of all time. Specifically when I was younger, Kingdom Hearts 2, the data boss rush was something that I had never experienced anything like that, and the concept of a just cascade of difficult bosses hitting you in the face that you have to learn the steps and the choreography and the back and forth with each one, and there's different strategies and ways to do it all. It was mind-blowing to me, and it got me deep into boss rush games and challenging games and things that were more brittle and less forgiving than your typical game. Things like Only Up and Super Meat Boy really please my brain on a primal level. And with the story of Kingdom Hearts being so fantastically complex and interesting, and the gameplay being so fun, and the characters being so whimsical and diverse and just silly, it's just a good excuse to dive in and enjoy it all over again. So you'll notice we don't have the music playing over the opening cinematic here. That's a YouTube thing. I'm still learning what YouTube will and will not let you get away with, but one of the constants that people seem to be understanding of is don't play the intro cinematic music. So we're just going to chat a little bit over it. You're going to see everything that I do. I'll show every achievement that I get and explain how I got it. I'll also be doing my best to explain my thought processes for the decisions I make, the ways I choose to fight things. I'll also be going down the 30-second focus points for each of the bosses that you'll encounter in each game and give you kind of a priority of what you should be thinking about, mentally tracking, and what you should be focusing on with your character during each of those phases. We'll skip over the boring bits. You'll see how I'm grinding, but I won't make you grind with me. I'll give you some tips for how you can grind more effectively, how you can level up, how you can get through some of the later synthesis things with as little pain as possible. And generally, we're just going to have a good time watching and playing Kingdom Hearts. And here we are, about to get control of Sora. It says Wisely there. I will be using a controller for this playthrough. I have played both with a controller and a mouse keyboard. I find the controller is way more intuitive and a lot more tactful with things like slight movements, so I would recommend that. So the first decision the game has you make is actually a pretty important one. You are given a sword, a shield, and a staff, and you are asked to take one and then give one up. And this has some pretty significant impacts on your playthrough in a couple of different ways, really. The first, it determines your starting stats and that stat growth. So things like strength, HP, defense, MP, that's all distributed as you level up at different rates, and that distribution is reflected by your choices here. Ultimately, the simplest explanation is that this makes Sora better at the thing you quote-unquote want to do with him. The second big impact you get from this choice is in the abilities that you are granted at each level. There's a bit of personal choice here in what you take and what you would want. Ultimately, when you get to max level, it's a few extra MP or item slots, so the choice that I typically make is more centered around the early game and the story before you get to endgame, and because of that, I'm going to be taking the shield for this run. Specifically, I'm taking the shield and I'm going to be giving up the staff for a few reasons. First, I want to play physical this run through, and the shield makes for an easier time in the early and mid game. That's where the game really has the majority of the challenge stacked, and taking the shield gives a higher innate defense, it gives you more forgiveness for when you get hit, and we're going to get hit. Also, the shield gives you some pretty strong abilities earlier, specifically things like Second Chance and Leaf Bracer. And those can be absolutely clutch when you find yourself in a situation that calls for them. Secondly, I want the early game damage that will be given by not sacrificing the sword. It evens out a lot by the end game and you can't really tell, but in the early and mid games, which is where a lot of the challenge of this game is really stacked, it is something that will be quite noticeable. The sacrifice of the staff doesn't actually translate into any lost MP by endgame. You can only gain MP by taking the staff, so I'm not too worried about the detriments being given, which I believe it's one less MP haste or rage, I'm not positive. One final thing I'll say on the choice of the staff is that by the end of the game, this choice will give us 2 additional item slots, and that translates to 2 additional elixirs or mega elixirs, and they become absolute value bombs when it comes in terms of how much magic and subsequently how much healing they can enable you to throw at any given point in time. It really pumps up your longevity. So here's the other big choice of the intro sequence. This is our leave time. And the way this works is each of these characters is going to ask you a question, and the answer, based on where it is in rank 1, 2, or 3, is worth 1, 2, or 3 points. And if you choose 3 or 4 points in total, you leave at dawn. 5 to 7 is midday, and 8 to 9 makes you leave at dusk. The effect this has is that dawn will cause you to level up faster your first 40 levels, and then it slows you down for the rest. Dusk will be the opposite, it's a slower first 40, but then it's a quicker end, and midday keeps it steady throughout the entire game experience. There's benefits to all three contextually. For a full playthrough, there's really 2 good choices, and that's dusk or midday. For this run, I'm choosing to go midday. The benefits to dusk are ultimately that you get to level 100 faster. The end number of XP is something like 10k cheaper, grinding through the whole process. However, the way that I play and at my skill level, I find that leaving at dusk leaves me at certain points underpowered for some of the walls that can hit you during the story mode, specifically things like Agrabah and Neverland, where if you just don't have the stats, you may not be able to get through some of the encounters. And midday really helps curve that grind and getting where you want to be there. Also, there's some really good ways to grind XP in this game once you hit a certain power point, and leaving at midday allows you to get to that point faster so that you can hit that terminal grind fall off point where you just start crushing Rock Titan every 45 seconds for half a level. So this is Darkseid. He is the first boss you're going to face in the game, and he is an introduction to boss mechanics in Kingdom Hearts in general. He only has 2 moves. The first move is the one you just saw where he punches the ground, and the shadows spawn out. You just beat up the shadows, get some HP orbs off of them. The second ability he has is he'll spread his arms wide, and he'll start shooting orbs out of his chest that will home in on you and track you and deal damage. These can just be run away from, or if you're clever, you can hit them with your stick. The other aspect of this boss that is worth mentioning is that it has natural ramps to its head from its arms throughout the fight. You don't just have to hit the hands. And if you manage to land a combo on the head, it will reward you for this by giving you tech points. And so this kind of primes you to start thinking about some of those things for the later bosses that you'll experience. Little graceful dance.
Whoa! Give me a break, Kyrie.
Sorry, you lazy bum. I knew that I'd find you snoozing down here.
No, this huge black thing swallowed me up. I couldn't breathe, I couldn't... Ow!
Are you still dreaming?
It wasn't a dream. Or was it? I don't know. What was that place? So bizarre.
Yeah, sure.
Say, Kyrie, what was your hometown like? You know, where you grew up?
I've told you before. I don't remember.
Nothing at all?
Nothing.
You ever want to go back?
Well, I'm happy here.
Really?
But you know, I wouldn't mind going to see it.
I'd like to see it too. Along with any other worlds out there. I want to see them all.
So what are we waiting for?
Hey! Aren't you guys forgetting about me? So, I guess I'm the only one working on the raft.
Ah!
And you're just as lazy as he is.
So you noticed.
Kinda
Okay,
rules.
we'll finish it together. I'll race you.
Huh?
What? Are you kidding?
Ready? Go!
Destiny Islands. So we're going to start off here and just talk to Kyrie. She gives you a bit of a shopping list. And for day one of Destiny Island, there's a couple of things we're going to be doing here. Well, one, we're going to gather the ingredients, obviously. Two, we're going to be fighting all of the people that are around. Just getting a win on everybody for the sake of feeling like we accomplished it. And then three, we're going to spend some time grinding up our XP early. This is part of why we picked midday, so that we can get a couple of levels and skate through some of the early game content that would otherwise be a bit of a challenge. Things like the guard armor and the cloud fight, as well as Leon and Travis Town. But we'll talk a bit more about that when we get there. Yeah, there's not really a reason to come in here on day one. Do a little style out. One thing I might want to mention, everything I've mentioned up to this point regarding choices and decisions has been based around playing this game on Proud Mode. Ultimately, we're going to have to play through this game twice to get 100% of the achievements in this Steam version, and that is because I am not going to be completing the game in under 15 hours, nor will I be holding myself back from changing my equipment. After we complete this first run, I'll be going into a second run, and that'll be a quick beginner mode run where I kind of speed through and keep the Kingdom Key on without ever changing anything. And that will be its own fun bag. I'll probably make its own individual video for that. But for now, most of what I'm talking about is going to be focusing on a full, major 100% playthrough on Proud Mode.
Hey, Sora! You feel lucky today? You're going down!
So here's a pretty chill fight against Tidus. This is basically just a basic swordplay fight. Every time he swings, if you swing into him, you can get a chance to parry him, do a little bit of attack bonus, get some extra XP. Otherwise, you just step to the sides of attacks or do some jump strikes into him, get quick timing, and beat him up with the stick. There is a way to farm Tidus early on for XP by just parrying him over and over. However, comparatively to the method I'm going to be using, the Tidus method requires a bit more active thought and constant mental presence, and I like to zone out a bit, watch some things on the side when I'm doing my grinding. So we'll be doing something a bit simpler today.
I'm really off today.
Ah, the breeze feels great. Okay, don't hold back.
Selfie fight is also not too much to say about it. She has a couple of forward swipes, very wide horizontal sweeps. She has one specific move when she says, "Are you ready?" and she'll run at you and swing multiple times just until she gets to you. The idea is that you parry it with your own swing, but as you'll see, I'm really not good at doing that at this point.
You ready?
See, she does not quit. Get lucky here. She hits me and decide she's just gonna sit down.
You ready? Come on! Oh, I can't believe I lost.
Hey, what's happening, man? Show me your stuff.
So Wakka's probably the most interesting of the three fights that you're going to go into. He has a melee attack that's kind of an AoE 360 sweep if you get close to him. So you're really heavily incentivized to fight him at range, lest you be hit a whole lot. And then when you're at range, he has two specific abilities. So he has this regular throw that you see me hitting, and then he has a more flashy throw that has a larger wind-up and a faster travel speed. And once you hit the ball, if you're close enough to Wakka, you can hit it to actually hit and stun him, and during that stun then you can capitalize and get a couple of free swipes on him in melee range. The idea is it's a cyclical back and forth kind of encounter. What you're seeing me do here is the XP grind that I'm going to be doing for Destiny Island. Every time you hit that ball, play stickball with Wakka, you get 1 or 2 XP based off he's doing the regular or the technical attack. And with that, I'm going to just spend some time zoned out, hitting balls back at Waka, watching things on my other monitor. And that is the end of the Waka run for now. Next thing on the agenda is going to be going and fighting the triple fight, 3-on-1. So this is just an amalgamation of all the other fights, just you have to take care of all of it at the same time. It's an exercise in keeping your mind there. Because we did some grinding, this is a pretty easy fight for us. I would suggest taking out Selphie first if you're going to do this, and then going for Tidus, and then focusing on Waka last. Primarily because Selphie's horizontal swing is a lot more difficult to deal with passively than actively, comparatively to Tidus's swordplay. And then once you get down to Tidus and Waka's not all that much of a threat if you focus on Tidus. And then after Tidus goes down, it turns into a one-on-one with Waka, which I just spent 20 minutes, doing that without thinking. Get a potion for that fight. You are able to farm that fight a bit and get more potions if you want, although you're also able to get potions off of the Riku fight that I'm going towards now, and that's a bit quicker and easier. This fight's pretty simple. Riku does a little bit of swordplay with you, and you can catch him in the middle of a lot of his stuff and stagger him. The interesting thing that is introduced with this fight is the concept of retaliation. In Kingdom Hearts, many enemies have what they call retaliation counters, and when you hit them, it increments a value by 1. And when that value hits a certain number, the enemy will swing back at you, do some sort of reprise or counterattack. This prevents infinite combos. And with Riku here, there's one of two combos that can be hit when you hit that 4. The first is that kip up where he does the kick towards you, and you just step to the side for that. And then the other is where he swings to you with that circular swipe. And for that one, you can just keep attacking through it. And one of the things that I think is really interesting about this fight early on in Destiny Islands is that it's a bit of a mirror of his fight later, even down to the fact that you have those two different options for his retaliation, which in the later fights in this game are also on 4 retaliation count. This is the last time I fight him. Of note, if you fall off, you lose, but if you fall off after you beat him, you win. I decided there's one more thing I want to do before I call day 1 a day. There we go.
Man, that really hurt.
So, Kyrie's home is out there somewhere, right?
Could be. We'll never know by staying here.
But how far could a raft take us?
Who knows? If we have to, we'll think of something else.
So, suppose you get to another world. What would you do there?
Well, I haven't really thought about it. It's just, I've always wondered why we're here, on this island. If there are any other worlds out there, why did we end up on this one? And suppose there are other worlds. Then ours is just a little piece of something much greater. So, we could have just as easily ended up somewhere else, right?
I don't know.
Exactly. That's why we need to go out there and find out. Just sitting here won't change a thing. It's the same old stuff. So let's go.
You've been thinking a lot lately, haven't you?
Thanks to you. If you hadn't come here, I probably would have never thought of any of this. Kyrie, thanks.
You're welcome.
Sora! You wanted one, didn't you?
A Palpu fruit?
If two people share one, their destinies become intertwined. They'll remain a part of each other's lives, no matter what. Come on, I know you want to try it.
What are you talking?
It's nice to see you, Whisper. What? Wake up, Goofy! Wake up! This is serious!
Hey there, Donald. Good
We
morning.
got a problem, Goofy. But don't tell anyone.
Ooh, Queen Minnie?
Not even the Queen.
Daisy?
No! It's top secret.
Oh, good morning, ladies.
What?
And we're at day 2 of Destiny Islands. Today's a bit shorter than day 1. We don't have any combat encounters. We do have a shopping list of things to gather. Replacing the encounters, there is a foot race with Riku. Additionally, we have some cutscenes as well as one small puzzle for a protect chain that you'll see later.
Come on!
You can't hit the little trees. Also, you may have noticed there that I spawned a good coconut and then I lost it. That is because you can only have 2 coconuts on the ground at a time, so if you get with the triple combo and one just happens to spawn with the first, you'll destroy your first coconut with your second and third hits. So be slower than me when you're doing those swings.
Exploring today. You know, the secret place at the base of that tree. There's gotta be something there, yeah?
I think you've gotten stronger, but odds are you're still no match for Riku. We took him on 3-1 last time, and he whipped us all. Well, I guess Kairi can always count on him.
I like dinosaurs. I like pterodactyls. Devilbird. Hell yeah.
If I win, I'm captain. And if you win,
I get to share the Palpu with Kyrie.
huh?
Dude.
Deal? The winner gets to share a Palpu with Kyrie.
Wait a minute.
Okay, on my count.
Riku has to make it weird. We're talking about rocket ships. And he decides, we'll decide who Kyrie likes with foot races and magic fruits. Cool. You'll notice I don't take any of the fancy routes. The only real shortcut I go for is skipping the first platform right there on that first jump. I find that if you hit a tree trunk and grab onto it, or if you don't get a fast grab on that zip line, you immediately lose too much progress and you just aren't going to beat Riku. And you can pretty consistently get a win if you just pick good lines and run forward with it. One thing to note if you are new is you have to jump and touch that star when you get to it. You can't just be at that platform, so make sure you touch the star and get that light up before you run back. Face.
Come on!
I spend time here looking for fish that aren't there. For reference, all of the fish to find are in the first area with the trio that you fought yesterday.
Who's there?
I've come to see the door to this world.
Huh?
This world has been connected.
Well, what are you talking about?
Tied to the darkness. Soon to be completely eclipsed.
Well, whoever you are, stop freaking me out like this. Huh? Well, where did you come from?
You do not yet know what lies beyond the door.
So you're from another world.
There is so very much to learn. You understand so little.
Oh yeah? Well, you'll see. I'm gonna get out and learn what's out there.
A meaningless effort. One who knows nothing can understand nothing.
I love this music.
know, Riku has changed.
What do you mean?
Well...
You okay?
Sora, let's take the raft and go. Just the two of us.
Huh?
Just kidding.
What's gotten into you? You're the one that's changed, Kairi.
Maybe. You know, I was a little afraid at first, but now I'm ready. No matter where I go or what I see, I know I can always come back here. Right?
Yeah, of course.
That's good. Sora, don't ever change.
Huh?
I just can't wait. Once we set sail, it'll be great.
Oh dear, what could this mean?
It means we'll just have to trust the king.
Gorge, I sure hope he's all right.
You're on us. Don't worry. We'll find the king and the ski. Thank you. Both of you. Daisy, can you take care of them?
Of course. You be careful now, both of you.
Oh, and to chronicle your travels, he will accompany you.
Over here! Cricket's the name. Jiminy Cricket at your service.
We hope for your safe return. Please, help the king. You're coming too!
Gorge, Jiminy, your world disappeared too?
It was terrible. We were scattered. And as far as I can see, I'm the only one who made it to this castle.
Goofy?
Oh, right. I gotcha. You mean while we're in other worlds, we can't let on where we're from, huh? We gotta protect the world border.
Order!
Right, world border. Oh, I guess we'll need new duds when we get there, huh?
Hello up there! Gotta get to lunch, too! I'm glad you're ready!
can't wait. Once we set sail, it'll be great.
A storm? Oh no! The raft!
Sora! Dinner's ready! Come on down! Sora?
What's that? Riku's boat! And Kairi's!
I run past all this. Until you get the Keyblade, there's no way to damage the shadows, so just run to the island and talk to Riku.
Where's Kairi? I thought she was with you.
The door is open.
What?
The door is open, Sora. Now we can go to the outside world.
What are you talking about? We gotta find Kairi.
Kairi's coming with us. Once we step through, we might not be able to come back. We may never see our parents again. There's no turning back. But this may be our only chance. We can't let fear stop us. I'm not afraid of the darkness.
Riku?
And finally, we can fight. So at this point I'm quite excited to get my hands on some combat with this game, so I spend quite a bit of time running around and killing Heartless. I will spare you the long haul and we'll get to the important stuff. And we do manage to pop one more level before we move on. And then after the grind, there is a fancy new door into the secret area, and that leads to the next portion of the game.
Kairi!
Sora...
Whoa!
And this version of Darkseid is the exact same fight that we had in the Awakening sequence. Same abilities, same enemies that get spawned, only this time we're a bit more prepared. And as you'll see, the levels make it simpler. This concludes Destiny Islands. few cutscenes and we'll be in Traverse Town in no time.
Oh? Oh? Oh, look! A star's going out!
Come on, let's hurry. Where's that key?
Hey, you know, maybe we ought to go find Leon. Oh, Donald, you know, I bet you that,
What do you know, you big coyote?
what do I know? Come on, Pluto!
Pluto's a good boy.
Oh. Huh? What a dream. Ah! This isn't a dream. Ugh, where am I? Oh boy. Do you know where we are? Oh, hey!
It's a nice feeling being in Traverse Town. Just doing some general exploring. You get a postcard for hitting this van, so once you get here, make sure you do that. I think that's where we're going to end this first episode. If you've come this far, thanks so much for watching. Next time we'll do the Traverse Town introduction, and I'll probably try to get through Wonderland as well. And it would be really nice if we could get that first achievement. So anyway, until then, be good to each other, y'all.